Ko Jude MacDonald ahau no te whatautanga hauora rohi o Wanganui.
Te rā te wira e hiko i ārangi te tohu o pohokura kai ti aki o te iwi ki rangi ti te e ripo tura te piko tanga o ngāua. Re tika te haere te riu o puanga ki a mihihia o kutu pona whare ki mātua whiti kaupeka o ngāti whiti kaupeka e. Ka te tiro ti taha ki tū makarangi o ngāti tama ko piri e. Te tahi o pipiri e moke mai rā te karere ki te uru korangi tūhia. Kei te tonga tautahi te koro ai o ngāti hene manu me ngāti paki. Ko uti kei mō kai pātia. Koko ia e āre. Kaurangi te maunga ko mōwhanga te awa ko Ngāti Whiti kaupeka te iwi. Ko mōkai pātia te rohe pōtai, ko Piki Te Ora hiro o toku i ngā nō reira tēnā koutou katoa.
So this is our story, and it's our story about a little rural community called Taihape, which is about an hour and a half from Wanganui. It is my home, it's where I was born, same for you. And for a very long time, we have worked alongside our community to create a sustainable next generation service for our people. We came in as a network to this community following the liquidation of the community trust. At no fault of their own, the system did not work for a sustainable solution, and we were brought in. The key groups that I want to acknowledge in our governance are Ngā Iwi Mōkai Pātia, o Taihape Health Trust, which is a community trust, and Mōkai Pātia Services and Taihape Health Limited. The network is really there as the agent for and backbone for holding that service available to our community.
Kia ora everybody. So I just wanted, before I have my kōrero, just give you a couple of kōrero about this picture. The top is Ngā Iwi Mōkai Pātia Services based. For those of you that might have zoomed through Taihape, we are just down the road from the Gretna Hotel, if you know where that is. We are small, of course. We are only a small rural area provider, but that's our base. And at the bottom, I managed to get a couple of my staff to pose for that picture. So that's their whānau order picture. So Iwi Mōkai Pātia Services, actually before I start this, I just want to mihi to every single person and everyone that has done presentations over the last 2 days. There's been some fantastic kōrero that's come out, and I hope when we give our presentation, some of the things that people have talked about can be actually picked up upon about what this thing of Te Tiriti partnerships really looks like in action. So Mōkai Pātia Services, we're an iwi mandated and owned health and social service that also works in the fields of hapu development, education and justice. We are mandated by Ngā Iwi Nui Tonu o Mōkai Pātia, Ngāti Whiti Kaupeka, Ngāti Tamakōpiri, Ngāti Ohoake, me Ngāti Hawati Hoki. We are a non-clinical service by design and had many years of working alongside Taihape Health Limited, who provide clinical services to our community. We work with the underlying premise of providing support to whānau within Taihape using the whānau order model of care created specifically for our community. What I also want to add into this is that we are a there's been kōrero that's been here today from settled iwi. We are not in that space. We are on the journey at the moment of going through our iwi negotiations, Waitangi claim space. I also sit as an iwi negotiator in that space, and I'm also a sitting member 2 terms in the Rangitihe District Council. So strategically, I'm lucky that I can see a lot of things from a lot of different areas.
Okay, move to the next one. So we started with a purpose and a vision that was provider-centric, to be honest, not wano-centric. And part of that was the emergency need to resurrect services and continue to provide a range of services. However, given the rich relationship that has existed between us all, it was about actually listening to the community voice and iwi voice and how that design took us on a different journey. We essentially came together saying we'd really like to see clinical and wano ora services coming together. We wanted to go back into the old hospital that had been vacant for over 10 years. We'd been keeping the power on because we'd been using a small portion of it, but essentially it had been sitting there unused. We wanted to restore the mana of the community. It was quite broken from the experiences that some of the community board members had had in the liquidation. We wanted to consider what a community hub would look like, and we wanted it to be a vibrant focal area for everyone. That was where we started, but that's not our journey.
The other thing I'd just like to add on to Jude's kōrero is that I think I've mentioned before, recognising what our strengths are. So we recognise what our strength is within our service, and we don't need to try and be a clinician because that's not where our strength is. So we've been on that road for a long time. Let the people that know what they're doing, we're happy for you to do that and work with our whānau in that space, but we have a strength. We have our strength ourselves. So I just wanted to say that there's a couple of pictures up here, community at the heart of all that we do. The furthest one is a picture of, she's actually here. Just want to say strategically, the person that's got the mask on, Naomi Martin, stayed within our service for a number of years, for 8 years. She was the best practice operations manager for multi-party services. And strategically, as Jude has said to you, for many, many years, working together in our community, we knew that iwi were always in the space of being in the health space, up and down the spectrum. And so Naomi, and that photo is actually Naomi, which is still work for us. Naomi has, at the beginning of this year, stepped up, and she is now the service practice manager at Taihake Health Unit. That's a huge coup for us, for our role here, and for our people. The other two pictures that are on there were taken at the beginning of this year at a Waitangi big day out, and actually within that photo, there's a couple of pictures of my son there, and my son there. But actually, we're looking at people that took part. A number of these people took part in what was done back at that time and has been done for the last 2 years around, I feel like people can hear me, has been done about gathering whānau voice. The gathering of whānau voice is nothing new. It's something that I feel that health has jumped onto, but that's nothing new, gathering whānau voice. So I'm going to quickly...
Okay.
What?
So the campus, as we talk about, is a Crown-owned property of quite large significance, really. And I guess the building is the old hospital. It was turned into a rest home and clinical services. The potential of the campus has created a lot of animated conversation with our community, from high security, potential of creating a childcare, accommodation, social connection. And one of the things that was really key in the design stage was when we went out and met with Kaumatua and Rangatahi, and they made it really clear to us what that building meant to them. So as a conclusion, we have now got quite a significant public space that's going to be invested in by the community. It's going to have a shared kitchen where Rangatahi will serve as a kind of a cafe where people can come and have activities and social context, as well as being part of a vibrant centre. The What Matters to You of whānau voice that's been collected, which our team, Janine and Deanna and Ngāwini have been involved in, is continually shaping the design. The campus has so much potential, and more recently we have had some really interesting conversations with the council, with Rangitikei Council, and we got an opportunity to present our vision, because what was really clear in the whakaaro with our communities was that the council were getting prepared for their long-term plan, and we could see that that was actually going to cut across some of the work that we had already started with communities. We now have Rangitikei Council as a partner. We now have been invited as health and iwi service providers to write this long-term plan for Taihape. We now hear from the Mayor that he's wanting to put not significant, but decent money on the table. And we don't know where this is going to take us, but it feels right. And we've heard so much about that.
I think that just to pick up on what Jude said at the end here, we don't know, we're on a journey, and we don't know, we have an idea of what our destination is going to be, but we're on a journey and we're prepared. If it's not going to work, if things aren't necessarily going to work at the beginning, we're prepared to keep working and keep working and keep working until we've got what we need for our whānau. So at the end of it, this has always been about what is the best thing for our community, what is the best thing for the Taihape community, whether you are black, brown, yellow, whatever colour you are. And we have always been in a space of working with whoever needs help. That's who we're going to help. So there's no nothing. No being precious about anything, and I think that's why our relationship and moving forward on it has been so good. So this picture here was taken a couple of days ago when we went up to Tribal Health and forced them all to. And said, I need to take a picture of these people. And so in the middle there's a couple of my team, but actually some of the social worker and some of the nurses from Waitangi Health Limited. So this kōrero is about what makes the partnership relevant in today's world. And what I want to say about that is the partnership is always going to come down to, as has been said today, relationships. If you're not prepared to have a full-on true relationship with someone that's a pono and tika relationship, you're going to get nowhere. It's as simple as that. Anyway.
Yep. So what do we think that you can learn from us? I think it's about the respect for Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and that requires for mainstream service providers to really understand what that means for them and how they work with our iwi partners. We need to respect each other, and I think the honesty and the depth of respect that we have at various levels has to the point where we're able to create Ngāwini's role transferring over to be the key leader as we move into this integrated world is evidence of that, because it's all very well talking about it, but you've got to do it. You need to keep the kaupapa real by hearing the people's voice, and it's not a one-off bang, do it tomorrow and then that's it. You've got to keep going back, and we have had many hui with many different groups in the community. We seem to get a bigger crowd every time. We seem to understand that the attitudes and behaviour that we're modelling is starting to be evidenced in some of the kōrero. We know that this is a journey, it's not a destination, and it's not our journey, it's the community's journey, and obviously for iwi it is their journey, but for me, while that was my home, I don't live there anymore, but I am here as a caretaker to transfer those thoughts through.
And I just want to say that for each and every one of you, it's different to come to a conference like this, because the things that I'm usually going into are in a provider space, not necessarily in a clinical space. So it's been interesting to listen to the, definitely sit at tables and listen to some of the kōrero that's been had by people that are doctors and nurses, and it's just, because of course you're learning more from a different perspective. We're actually finished, we've gone way over time, I'm afraid, but I just want to say this photo was taken 2 weeks ago, and it's the Orangi Mana, our mana at home. And it's a beautiful photo, that is loose way on here, by the way. And this whakatauaki, ko tahi te haumaru mua tātou katoa. So it's talking about us having a place and a space for all of us back at home on this journey that we're on. So we've just got a little bit of one little waiata and then we can sit down because we've got a way of time. Te aroha, he tangana, te atua, te aroha. He tanga ki ngā tangata, te whakapono, te tūmanako, me te aroha e, te aroha. He taonga tutuliho, te aroha. He taonga tutuliho. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Tēnā koutou, ngā mihi mana hau e rere ana kia koutou katoa. He uru ahau no Ngaitirangi me Ngātirangi Nui. Ko tae ho ngātai te tangata, ko Kiri pei te tōku ingoa. He tangata whenua ahau.
No ingarangi ahau, nāri ko tauranga toko ka inga e nainai. Ko Lindsey toko ingoa, he tangata tiriti ahau.
So simply put, tangata tiriti, within our context, are non-Māori living in Aotearoa who are committed to a Te Tiriti-centric Aotearoa based on the articles of and principles of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, tangata whenua a Māori. Next. So Te Toi Huarewa is our strategy and it literally translates to whirlwind path to the highest heavens, and it's underpinned by three key principles: whai mana, equity, whai ora, quality healthcare, whai rangatiratanga, sustainability. So whai in pursuit of. In partnership, this is led and delivered collectively through our PHO whānau, our team, our general practice network, our iwi partners and our hapori, our community.
So just a little bit about our home, our piece of paradise. So we're based in the Western Bay of Plenty. We're serving 208,000 people, right up to Katikati in the north and down to Whakatane in the east. Our main centre is Tauranga, and maybe you didn't know, but Tauranga means a safe harbour. So I only learnt that actually about a year ago, but that's how we see ourselves. We are the fastest growing city in Aotearoa. We have a 16% Māori enrolled population, but we have mainly urban practices, but we do have one rural practice up in Katikati.
Oh, sorry. So at our PHO, we've adopted a best practice evidence-based approach to developing an organisational culture of equity to improve health outcomes for our enrolled population, particularly Māori. And we'll provide over the next few slides a snapshot of the key features, of these key features that will be reflected in our presentation.
We've deliberately chosen to use the principles of Te Tiriti o Waitangi outlined in the Waitangi Tribunal Claim, Y2575, as our presentation framework. This enhanced set of principles provide clarity and guidance on how we engage with, promote and support Māori health aspirations, and particularly as a mainstream organisation, how we do that in partnership. So Western Bay of Plenty PHO, formed in 2003, it has a unique partnership model. We are 50%, we have a joint venture, partnership, 50% owned by two Tauranga Moana iwi, that's Ngaitirangi and Ngātirangi Nui. And that's really key and important in terms of actually setting our co-governance expectations for our organisation. We've got a few video clips to share with you, and the first, because it starts with governance, and we want to show that how our co-chairs work together in partnership with that history in mind.
The joint venture, which is now over 20 years old, and I myself, I've only been involved in more recent years, but yourself, your history is a lot longer than mine.
Yeah, probably just about the whole time, most of the time. And it's been good, like it's, when you talk about partnership with a crew, I mean, it's, firstly, you've got to have the respect with each other to be able to to make a decision to go into a partnership. And in the day, that was clearly the case. There was a lot of respect between iwi and general practice at that time. The journey has been, you get your ups and downs. I mean, that's the way it rolls.
It's like a marriage.
Yeah, that's like a marriage. And you tend to hang in there because it is a marriage, it means something.
But we've got shared goals. So our shared goals, improving Māori health. A lot of work on equity over the years, which we're developing, moving forward.
That's really fantastic, because we share that. We have a common vision, whereas often partnerships and sometimes marriages don't have the shared vision. They'll just concentrate on the next 20. I mean, it's very, very unusual to have a relationship like this. And secondly, it's the ones that have been, joint ventures, they haven't been able to resolve the issues. When they got to the tough stuff, they got a divorce. We got close to that a couple of times, like most marriages. And then we said, no, let's work it out. We work it out. And that's from out of utmost respect. On the small things, you're chatting through that, and on what we're saying when we get to the big things, we can talk through that as well.
Well, when things get hard, the relationships are what we rely on.
Exactly right. Oh, and the mana of each side. Just when you respect the mana of each side, it gets you through. There have been times where we sit in a meeting and go, I got no idea what you're talking about, but I trust you.
Gotta love the honesty. So, partnership starts at the governance level and it comes through at a leadership level as well as an operational level. So the next video will follow and it gives the leadership team's perspective on our partnership approach.
The best way to inspire an important call to action has been to clearly communicate our purpose as a PHO. We refer to the whakapapa of our organisation, formed in 2003 by iwi and general practice providers, who had a shared dream to improve health for their mokopuna. Dr. John Gemming, who is our original chair of the board, said, if we're going to do this, we need to do it together.
Everything we do aligns with this whakaaro. We are motivated and committed to enabling people to protect their own health and well-being. Patients, whānau, hapu and iwi are at the heart of our mahi, with primary health services wrapping around them. Being guided by the framework of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, we believe this is the right thing to do and we work together as a whānau to achieve this.
So the next principle is tino rangatiratanga. Patients, whānau and hapu are at the heart of our mahi. So in our next video clip, our equity program lead, Michaela Kamo, she showcases an authentic engagement and co-design project with our hapori, which led to the development of a model of care that honours their unified vision.
The journey to improve health services on Matakana and Motiti Island started in February 2020. Community hui were held with residents and hauora where they first shared their healthcare struggles and barriers. Tāpiri Mai is a model of care that honours a unified vision and captures the kōrero from the intergenerational workshops held on the island with whānau, hapu, iwi and health providers. It reflects their knowledge and practices which are meaningful today and for future generations to succeed and flourish. Tāpiri Mai in this context means to join up or come together. The Porowhita design represents the perpetual movement of health, where the point of origin is whānau.
Okay, so what does equity mean to us as a PHO? We're on a journey. We've made a decision to make this our why, because very often we've been asked, over the years, what do PHOs actually do? What are they here for? So we've done some internalising to really think about why we exist. What is our why? How can we add value? So it's our why to eliminate inequity. Simple as that. And we are working hard together as a team to socialise our why, and to bring people along on the journey with us. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that in the next clip.
Here at the Western Bay of Plenty PHO, our vision is to achieve equity of health outcomes for both tangata whenua and tangata tiriti. In its simplest form, we believe health equity is all about fairness, and in our whare, equity is everyone's responsibility. We serve a diverse community that requires diverse and inclusive approaches. Whilst all inequities are unfair, our focus on Māori health is grounded in our respect for Te Tiriti o Waitangi as the founding document of Aotearoa, and the acknowledgement of equity as a basic human right. Central to our kaupapa, we strongly oppose racism in all its forms. Every day, these beliefs guide how we invest our resources and drive our organisational culture of equity. This is our journey. We have a long way to go, and we don't get it right every time. But wherever inequities exist, we're determined to find them, to prove them, and then do our absolute best to remove them.
So an important component of equity is cultural intelligence, and our mandatory training at the Western Bay PHO, alongside Te Tiriti o Waitangi, unconscious and conscious bias, racism and discrimination in all its forms, we have an annual attendance on a cultural haerenga. Ka mua ka muri, walking backwards into the future. I think we've heard this a lot during the conference. So we visit key local historical sites. We're not responsible for colonisation, but we need to address the impact of it and the inequities it has caused, such as erosion of traditional practices, the loss of cultural identity, and large-scale confiscation and theft of Māori land, which has resulted in the loss of many cultural protective factors. It's confronting but important. It helps us address inequities for tangata whenua.
Our last cultural haerenga, which is we're going to just show you a few clips from that, but we have one staff day every year, and we've decided, we spent one staff day, I think, in a classroom doing some sort of thinking work, and since then we say, no, every year we're going to go on a haerenga, and, it's the best use of that staff day ever, and, we get good attendance. Pretty much, I think every staff member attended the last one, bar one who was on holiday. So,
and we've invited the general practice teams along on the journey as well.
So a very special moment occurred while on our cultural haerenga recently. A ritual of karakia took place at Mawao by a local kaiarahi, Ihaka Smith, and he captured a process of change for our PHO in the form of a tokomauri. Our local kaumātua Kihu Butler named the tokomauri Hauhanga Arongo, which means peace. Kaimahi and general practice equity champions were able to pass on the energy and receive the mauri that the toka provided. The toka mauri has been placed in the office at our PHO, connecting and providing strength to all kaimahi and manuhiri.
The next clip is our mental health lead talking about how the cultural haerenga is relevant to her in her daily clinical practice. And I think this is really important. It's not about what you learn, it's how you then apply that learning in your day-to-day work that's important.
So the cultural haerenga was really valuable, particularly from working in mental health perspective, of having an understanding of what people who present to our service come with as far as multi-generational trauma and things like that. Also having an understanding of the land that we walk on and what's happened here before, and how that impacts on the people that are living here now.
So as an organisation, we not only have to get our whare right, but we help support our general practice teams on their equity journey as well. So the next video clip is a practice, Fifth Avenue General Practice based in Tauranga, and they share with us their equity journey.
Kia ora, how can I help today? Kia ora. Well, our equity journey here at Fifth Avenue has been one that all of our team members have got on board with. So we understand that not everyone comes from the same starting point, and that it's our position here to support those patients or whānau members that just need that support to reach equity. So our journey here started with us wanting to make this practice inclusive for our whānau patients. We actually collaborated with them on how we could be more inclusive and make it a more welcoming environment. So we had our elders come in, we had our different generations co-design with us, and that's where we came to the position we are today, and it's all about growing from that. So from our group He Waka Eke Noa, we have a lot of great things on the horizon. We are currently working on focusing on men's health and how we can get our tāne into the practice and how we can be active in their health journey. It's all going to be about having that kōrero and seeing how us as a practice can get them involved and excited to come and see their doctor and on their health journey.
Okay, so that's a little bit about our why, and let's talk about how. How do we do that in our day-to-day mahi? And it starts with the use of te reo Māori, because we know language is linked to culture, identity, and therefore impacts well-being. So we're proudly committed to keeping the language alive in our PHO and normalising the use of te reo Māori every day. We have daily karakia waiata sessions, and all of our new staff are welcomed with whakatau. And that's a really important part of our mahi, to continue that and to do that consistently. So everyone feels that they have a safe place to come to work, and that we are embracing our Māori culture that guides us in our work. So here's a little video of a few things that we do towards that.
Over the past few years, our PHO has actively and proudly been bringing te reo Māori into our everyday lives, aiming to embed into our normal workplace culture and provide tools for our workforce to learn in a really safe, welcoming and supportive space. Our fortnightly te reo Māori sessions at He Punamu have been going strong since 2020. Often the humblest treasure is the most precious. So normalising te reo Māori for us comes in many forms and shapes. We integrate it into our daily work. We start our day with karakia and waiata, and we sing happy birthday in te reo Māori. Having karakia to bless our morning tea and having bilingual signage and greeting each other with kia ora really adds to ensure that we've got an authentic approach to incorporating te reo Māori into our mahi.
Okay, we're on the home straight.
Okay, the next principle we're just going to cover is options. We're really committed to ensuring that all of our services are provided in a culturally appropriate way that recognises and supports the expression of te ao Māori models of care. So we invest in iwi hapu-led models of wellness and locally delivered kaupapa Māori programs. We need to be mindful of not stifling Māori health by stifling Māori capacity and capability. And what we have to do is stand aside when opportunities are best led by iwi. This approach to service delivery draws upon the values, tikanga and kawa unique to their respective iwi and is recognised as integral to a holistic approach to whānau wellbeing. So many of our services are delivered by iwi partners. We have outreach mobile health services, our HBU bus. We have our long-term conditions program, Te Ahunga Whānau, and our rangatahi leadership program, and many other contracts as well that are delivered by iwi partners. I'm just going to show a short video of our mental health lead explaining a little bit more about how this impacts whānau.
Te Tiriti is a foundation of our country, and I suppose we incorporate it as a foundation principle in the care that we deliver in trying to ensure that Māori values are considered all the way through, from when we first talk to people with whanaungatanga, you know, welcoming people, ensuring we're pronouncing correctly, all those sort of things. Through manaakitanga, things like our social worker, when she goes to Wins or someone, will take them and have a coffee with them either before or afterwards. Those sort of generosities and caring for people. There's also through, ensuring that tino rangatiratanga or mana motahaki, so people are given options and choices around what care that they want or what care's available. People are often surprised that there's choice and options, and ensuring that people have all the information. And that we, really truly value and embrace the people that seek our service with unconditional regard. And those sort of principles are good for everyone. If they're good for Māori, it's good for everyone else. Everyone wants to be valued and everyone wants to be welcomed.
I think we're going to pause there. We have got a couple more slides, but I just perhaps we'll finish with our
Comments from whānau and
yes, sorry.
Service.
There you go. Oh, yeah, no. Oh no, it's gone forward.
That must be a tohu.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll leave the last word with the whānau.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for listening, whānau. Thank you. Kia ora.